live on TFM and the TFM Facebook page. This is the live feed of TTV. Let's talk.
Hello and welcome to the Midday Update. These are the top headlines from our newsroom today. Oman to launch its first space satellite in 2024. Over 700 mosques have been reopened in the Sultanate. Oman may get affected by air trough according to CAA official. Royal Air Force of Oman conducts medical evacuation. Oman's Ministry of Finance issues circular regulating financing instruments. Asia-Pacific countries sign RCEP agreement, launch world's biggest trade bloc. Mexico's COVID-19 cases surpass 1 million, death toll close to 100,000. Hungary registers over 4,000 new coronavirus cases as total tops 140,000. Lewis Hamilton equals Schumacher's record with 7th world title. Spanish coach Enrique defends Ramos after missing 2 penalties. These were the top headlines for the day. Let's see how the weather looks like in the Sultanate in our weather update.
I'm Mantra Bose with your daily dose of weather, and we're outside the TFM studio in Al Quair. Now, before we move on to our weather report, here's a weather fact. The largest recorded hailstone measured 8 inches in diameter and weighed almost 2 kilos. It fell on July 23, 2010 in Vivian, South Dakota. That was our fun fact for today. Now we'll step inside the studio and we'll talk a little bit more about weather. An alert has been issued by Oman Meteorology and Public Authority for Civil Aviation indicating poor visibility during rain and fog. Other than that, skies will be clear to partly cloudy along the coastal areas of the Oman Sea with the possibility of isolated rain. The rest of the Sultanate will see clear skies with chances of late night to early morning low-level clouds or fog patches in South Al-Sharqiya, Dhofar and Al-Wusta. With that, let's take a look at what the weather will be like throughout the Sultanate. Muscat will be partly cloudy with temperatures between 28 degrees Celsius and 22 degrees Celsius. Musandam will also be partly cloudy with temperatures between 27 and 21 degrees Celsius. North Al-Batana will be partly cloudy with temperatures between 28 to 22 degrees Celsius, and South Al-Batana will also be partly cloudy with temperatures between 28 to 20 degrees Celsius. Al-Buremi will be partly cloudy with temperatures between 29 to 19 degrees Celsius. Al-Dahira will be sunny with temperatures between 29 and 20 degrees Celsius. Al-Dakhliya will be partly cloudy with temperatures between 29 to 20 degrees Celsius. North Al-Sharqiya will be sunny with temperatures between 31 and 21 degrees Celsius. While South Al-Sharqiya, there is a possibility of rain with temperatures between 28 to 21 degrees Celsius. Al-Wusta will be partly cloudy with temperatures between 28 to 22 degrees Celsius, and Dhofar will be sunny with temperatures between 29 to 18 degrees Celsius.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
Welcome back to TTV. You're watching Midday Update. And now from a local desk. Oman's first space satellite is expected to be launched in 2024, the country's Minister of Transport, Communications and Information Technology has said. Speaking ahead of the country's 50th National Day, Dr. Saeed bin Hamad Al Mawali said plans for Oman to join the world's spacefaring countries had begun in 2006. We have to address the role of the private sector to this effect and establish a company to launch the first satellite in 2024. There are practical advantages here for our national space program, advanced technology and artificial intelligence, he said. The minister was speaking on a program titled 50 Golden Years run by Shabiba FM, the radio arm of Al Shabiba, the sister Arabic publication of Times of Oman. During his interview, he said a key indicator for his ministry was the Sultanate's space program, which is to be announced in 2021. Dr. Saeed bin Hamad Al Mawali, Minister of Transport, Communications and Information Technology, added that in keeping with the e-government policies of the country, The ministry was looking to digitize 2,700 types of transactions, making it easier for them to be completed. There are directives from His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq that we continue with digital transformation. There is continued coordination between the Ministry of Transport, Communications and Information Technology and the ministries and other government departments in terms of digital transformation. This does not just mean the use of programs or online platforms, but also the handling and improvement of existing procedures, said Al-Mawali. He also continued saying that once we realize how to improve them, then we can create the appropriate online platform. The ministry will be directly supervising this project, and there has been a positive response from other government bodies regarding its execution. The minister added that many works to grow the country's economy to provide better sources of revenue in future. Among these are port expansions and development, improving laws to boost earnings by the country, and continued expansion of the Sultanate's road network. More than 700 mosques in the Sultanate of Oman, which had been temporarily closed due to coronavirus pandemic, were reopened to worshippers with certain rules in place. Their reopening had been sanctioned by the Supreme Committee to deal with COVID-19, which has stipulated that only mosques that could accommodate 400 worshippers can reopen to the public. Registration is still open for more mosques to be allowed to reopen, said Zahir Abdullah Hosseini, the director of the Mosques Department at the Ministry of Religious Affairs and Awqaf. He said that mosque supervisors can get this done by filling the online form available to them. Our department had to turn down a number of applications from mosques that requested reopening because they did not meet the requirements for safe congregation. Rules and regulations mosques are required to follow on reopening that have been listed in MIRA's directory of COVID-19 guidelines, which were issued last week. Omani citizens said they were happy to be able to go to places of worship once more after they had been previously shut to stop the spread of infection. Naif Al-Sinani from Wilayat Saham in North Batina was among those who was happy to return there to pray. I went to the mosque in Saham to perform Fajr prayers. I shed tears while praying when I heard the voice of the Imam because I was able to come to the mosque after nearly 8 months. I'm very happy with the decision of the Supreme Committee to reopen mosques in the country. We have been waiting for this decision for a long time. Without coming to the mosque to pray, I do not feel the sweetness of prayer and worship that one is supposed to experience, he said, adding that prayer is an obligation for all of us. Now that this has happened, I hope God gives us the strength to make this disease that has changed our lives disappear. On this note, we'll take a quick commercial break, but stay tuned as we have more updates coming your way from a local desk.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
Welcome back to TTV. You're watching Midday Update. And now from our international desk. The Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, known as RCEP, was signed among its 15 participating countries on Sunday, launching the world's biggest free trade bloc. Participating countries include the 10 member countries of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, known as ASEAN, and China, Japan, South Korea, Australia, and New Zealand. The RCEP agreement is an unprecedented mega-regional trading arrangement that comprises a diverse mix of developed, developing, and least developed economies of the region, leaders of the participating countries said in a joint statement at the 4th RCEP summit earlier Sunday prior to the signing ceremony. They also continued saying that it would cover a market of 2.2 billion people, or almost 30% of the world's population, with a combined GDP of 26.2 trillion US dollars, or about 30% of global GDP, and accounts for nearly 28% of global trade based on 2019 figures. The RCEP agreement is critical to the region's response to the COVID-19 pandemic and will play an important role in building the region's resilience through inclusive and sustainable post-pandemic economic recovery process, said the leaders. They also said that it demonstrates a strong commitment to supporting economic recovery, inclusive development, job creation, and strengthening regional supply chains, as well as our support for an open, inclusive, rules-based trade and investment agreement. The RCEP represents an important step forward towards an ideal framework of global trade and investment rules, they said. Now, Mexico reported 5,860 new coronavirus cases in the last 24 hours, taking the national count to 1,003,253, the health ministry said recently. Meanwhile, 635 more deaths were reported, bringing the death toll to 98,259 in Mexico, which ranks fourth worldwide, following the United States, Brazil, and India. The Mexican authorities said the real number of infections is likely significantly higher than the reported confirmed cases. The northern state of Durango and neighboring state Chihuahua have been put on the highest level of coronavirus alert in a bid to contain the recent spike in the north of the country, according to the health ministry. Except the two northern states, most of Mexico's 32 regions are currently at the lower orange or yellow alert levels. In an interview with Xinhua News Agency, Mexican epidemiologists called the situation in the country serious, saying if it is necessary to review the current health model in order to take measures such as case tracking to avoid further infections. He also expressed his concern for the future as a period of resurgence of cases in almost half of the country is predicted in the coming months. He said that the important thing is to protect Mexican population, a society worn out by prolonged confinement and due to the ineffectiveness of the health model, will reach the end of this year 2020 with more deaths. Hungary on Sunday registered 4,238 new coronavirus cases in a 24-hour span, raising the national total to 140,961, according to government's coronavirus information website. In the past 24 hours, another 107 people have died from the disease, taking the death toll to 3,097 in the country, while 31,599 have recovered. Currently, 7,013 patients are being treated in hospitals and 569 of them are on ventilators. The mandatory wearing of masks outdoor is the latest in a series of measures coming into force from Wednesday, which also included a curfew from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. and a switch to online education for secondary schools and universities. Restaurants can stay open but only for takeaways expected for workplace cafeterias. Hungary's COVID-19 cases have risen sharply since late August. The country's total cases topped 10,000 on September 10th, 50,000 on October 21st, and 80,000 on November 2nd, and lastly 100,000 on November 7th. Hungarian Prime Minister has pledged to procure COVID-19 vaccines, which will be made available to all citizens who want it. The Prime Minister said his administration was engaged in talks on purchasing vaccines from China and Russia, adding that Hungary could have access to 2 to 3 different types of vaccines by next spring. According to the website of the World Health Organization, as of November 12th, there were 212 COVID-19 candidate vaccines being developed worldwide, and 48 of them were in clinical trials. It's time for a quick commercial break, but stay tuned for more updates coming your way from a sports desk.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
Welcome back to TTV. You're watching Midday Update. And now from a sports desk. Michael Schumacher no longer stands alone as the most decorated driver in F1 history. Lewis Hamilton has joined the German as a 7-time world champion, and he did it with a controlled drive that Schumacher would have been proud of. In the rain, Hamilton struggled in qualifying and started in 6th on the grid. Pole sitter Lance Stroll led the race for a long time, and Hamilton found himself a pit stop and several paces behind the leader, but the Mercedes driver found his pace when the track dried off and stayed on the intermediate tire until the end. He even overruled his teammates' instructions to pit late on, but when vindicated when he crossed the line in first. That's for all the kids out there who dream the impossible, you can do it, said Hamilton, whose victory was the 94th of his career, also an F1 record. 6 of Hamilton's 7 titles have been won with Mercedes, with the other, his first, coming with McLaren in 2008. Now, Spain's head coach Enrique defended captain Sergio Ramos, who missed a pair of penalties in Spain's 1-1 draw with Switzerland. Ramos overtook Italy's goalkeeper Buffon to become the most capped player in European football in the game against Switzerland, whose goalkeeper Jan Sommer saved 2 second-half penalties of Ramos as restricted the side to 1-1 draw. Remo Freuler opened the scoring for the Swiss in the 26th minute before Gerard Moreno spared Ramos blushes with an 89th minute equalizer in the UEFA Nations League match at St. Jacob Park. Ramos had scored a remarkable 25 straight penalties for the club and country before missing 2 in the span of 23 minutes. Sergio Ramos' record with penalties is up there with the very best. It would be very unfair to take him off because he's missed 1, 2, 3. If there were another penalty, he wouldn't have taken it. If he misses 2, to take him off penalty duties would be a joke. There's a list of penalty takers and Sergio Ramos is at the top, the coach added. Gerard also backed up his coach's word on a night when Ramos reached his 170th international appearance. Sergio is a born winner. Today he could not score the 2 penalties, but he's played many games, many defeats, many victories. He has a lot of experience, he said. Spain is set to face Germany in the Nations Leagues on Wednesday, November 18th. With this news, we have come to the end of the episode for today, but stay tuned as we'll be back again tomorrow at 2 p.m. with more updates and latest news your way. Keep watching TTV.
You've just heard the live feed from the TTV studios on TFM 95.4. Let's talk.